Hello everyone, today is the 2nd of December 2020. My name is Hoshino, and I'm here with my great friends Patrick and Jedi, who are the representative of the International Golden Age Group, as well as Terry and Nogi from PFC Japan Official. So welcome Patrick and Jedi.
Hi, we are so honored to join.
And welcome Terry and Nogi.
Thank you for the opportunity to interview Cobra.
As many of you have already learned about the Age of Aquarius final activation on the 21st of December, I'm very happy to have Cobra here to do an interview with us and talk about the meditation, the current situation, and a number of topics. So welcome to Cobra.
Thank you for your invitation.
Now let's start the interview. Now pass on to you, Pat, Terry, and Nogi.
Okay, so let me ask you questions, Cobra. First of all, we would like to know the result of our meditation on November 11th. Did we achieve critical mass for timeline correction meditation?
Actually, this meditation was quite successful. It was not promoted heavily, but still we have managed to reach the number about 80,000 people meditating, which had a significant effect on the timeline correction.
Wow, that's good news. And second question, what are the remaining obstacles to the final breakthrough before the event?
Still, the main obstacle remains the same, and that are droplet bombs. This is the exotic technology which has to be removed completely or almost completely before the event can happen. And there, of course, are other factors, but those other factors are not such a big obstacle as the droplet bombs are.
Oh, I see. Thank you. In addition to meditation, what else can we, the surface population, do in order to help clear those obstacles?
What would help a lot be more unity among the so-called light workers. I know this is not realistic, but if we would really achieve more unity, that would create a very strong harmonic resonance field that would allow light forces to do things faster and more efficiently.
I see. Absolutely, we will. And next question. So we understand that we are in phase 3 of the Bubbles of Heaven transition diagram. And here is what I want to ask you. Are we reaching the end of phase 3 and the beginning of phase 4 if we achieve huge success on December 21st?
We are not there yet, but we're getting close.
Okay, that's fine. And have all the hostages of the positive star races captured by the dark forces being released?
Unfortunately, not yet. There are still some representatives of positive star races which are being captured in the underground of the Chimera group. This has not been cleared yet.
Okay. How about the human hostages? Have all children and adults been released from underground bases?
Unfortunately, not yet as well. So this is it's a very similar situation, which has not been cleared yet completely.
Okay, so we still have to keep on working on it. And in your post on September 14th, you said many hostages, including twin souls of many key commanders within the Galactic Confederation, have been rescued. And those commanders were threatened by Draco and spread much fake intel through many lightworkers' channels in the last few years. And for now, here's what we would like to ask you. Is channeling information potentially more reliable now?
In some rare instances, yes, but most channels do not have any contact with the real light forces anyway. So these are other factors that need to be addressed. And number one is for those channels to really get genuine contact. And number two, there are still many imposters, many fake holograms and fake entities which are posing as ascended masters, and they are giving false channeling messages. So it's really rare for channeled information to be reliable at this point.
Okay, that makes sense. So next question. How is the Chimera clearing situation on the low Earth orbit?
This clearing is proceeding very well according to the plan, and I will say more about it in my next update.
Okay, we are looking forward to it. And what is the status in removing the primary anomaly?
Primary anomaly in Earth orbit and higher up is clearing quite nicely, but anomaly close to the surface of the planet, not yet, because there is simply so much darkness gathered here, accumulated here. So, but we are expecting the primary anomaly to start really clearing close to the surface of the planet after December 21st, if we reach the critical mass. The light forces can finally begin to start clearing the primary anomaly at the level of the surface of the planet.
Good. Okay. And what about the progress of removing physical and non-physical archon?
Again, the situation is not yet proceeding as smoothly as we have hoped, because this is connected with the surface population, which are being hostages, so this has not been addressed yet as it should be.
And what is the progress of removing satellite weapons utilizing 5G, directed energy weapons, and electromagnetic pulses?
Here we had a lot of progress. It has not been completed, but I would say the situation in that area is much better than it was a few months ago.
Okay, good. And what is the current status of implant removal, both physical and non-physical?
Again, I am expecting bigger improvements in that area after December 21st if we reach the critical mass, because at this point, there is simply too much anomaly still around the surface of the planet for the clearing of the implants to start properly.
All right. Okay, next question. About 2 weeks ago, U.S. Marine Corps established its own space command. Does it mean that the cabals are desperately recruiting space soldiers to fight against the light forces stationed around the Earth?
Actually, those so-called space soldiers are in no way capable of doing anything against the Galactic Confederation. And what is happening actually is a silent war within all those Space Force organizations, because they have been infiltrated by the Chimera group before, but now the light forces are putting also their own people there. So interesting things are happening there right now. And some of them might lead to some of the classified intel being disclosed in the near future if things go according to plan.
Okay, so next question. In the last update, you stated draconians that remain on the surface of the Earth are the only ones linked directly with Chimera beings. Are these draconians still on the surface of the planet?
Some of them, yes.
Okay. And next question. On October 28th, you reported resistance forces have managed to erase the Illuminati Breakaway Complex, IBC. Were all indigenous reptilians in South America and Africa also removed along with them?
Not all of them, but the vast majority of the indigenous reptilians were removed also.
Wow, sounds good. Okay, Terry-san's gonna take over from here. Please.
Okay, thank you, Nogi. Thank you, Cobra, for taking time with us today. So next question, when you say we focus back to our optimal ascension timeline, what exactly do you mean by the optimal ascension timeline? For example, do you mean to go back to the alpha timeline or to correct the negative timeline created by the dark forces?
Optimal ascension timeline means the best possible timeline according to circumstances. Right now we have this intense war between light and darkness on the planet, and the optimal ascension timeline is a timeline which brings us to the final victory with as little time as possible in as harmonious way as possible. That is the optimal ascension timeline. And we cannot go back to the alpha timeline because the timeline has irreversibly collapsed. We are now in gamma timeline, which calls for intervention of the light forces on the surface of the planet as soon as possible without destroying the planet. So this is what's happening. We are now in the gamma timeline. We're stabilizing this with our meditations and hoping that with enough people supporting those meditations, we can stabilize the timeline as much as possible. And of course, we are in the middle of a battle. This is not going to be easy. And when we are liberated, then we have our final report. Until then, we just have to keep pushing.
I see. Thank you very much. Very important information. Okay, next question. Has the healing of the Prussian negative timeline completed? Or can we correct this timeline if we are successful in the Age of Aquarius meditation in December?
Prussian negative timeline has been healed to a certain degree, and healing of that timeline is ongoing parallel to all other projects. And it is not only connected to the 21st of December, it's connected to the overall planetary liberation process. But I would say that an important step was the activation of the Berlin vortex in August this year, and this is ongoing and will continue.
Okay, understand. Thank you very much. Next question. Previously, you mentioned that there are changes to the 3 waves of the Ascension plan. Would you be able to share any of the details about it?
I will be able to share details about the new plan after December 21st if we reach the critical mass. Okay,
understood. Next question. Have white nobilities and positive Templars taken any actions since Paris and Versailles Goddess Vortex were reactivated? Please share some intel as far as you can safely talk about.
Not much action could be taken because it's simply not safe yet. So those people are still staying undercover for time being and waiting for better conditions where those activations and changes can take place.
Okay, understand. Next question. Dragon sources have repeatedly communicated that they would organize a full disclosure of the Chinese secret space program if the Chinese government attempts to invade Taiwan by force. Are they certainly sure that such intel can guarantee peace and safety for Taiwan?
There are no guarantees, but this is one action they could take to prevent war from happening. And they, of course, have other plans which have not been made public yet. They have other steps to take which could be taken. So positive dragons are aware of the tension between Taiwan and China, and they have plans which can be activated if those military situations escalate.
Okay, understand. Thank you very much. Next question. The light forces predicted the corona pandemic will be over in December, as there will be herd immunity and there will be no host for the virus by then. Is this still a valid prediction?
Unfortunately, the situation with coronavirus is connected with the war on the nanotechnology level. So light forces have their own nanotechnology which tries to remove the virus, and dark forces have their own nanotechnology which supports the spreading of the virus. So this whole pandemic thing has been ongoing for longer than light force have expected. But we are getting closer to the herd immunity, and when the herd immunity comes, it will be much sooner than it will be unexpected for most of so-called experts on the planet, which are spreading fear and agenda, which is the control of human population. So there are some surprises about the coronavirus, which will happen when the time is right.
I see. So nanotechnology, that's a very new information. Okay, now next question. Would the light forces activate delta option if the surface situation, especially the situation in the post-election US, would not improve?
Delta option will not happen before it's time for it to happen. This is as much as I can say, and it's not yet time for this to happen.
I see. Okay, understand. Next question. Many light workers are reporting that they are receiving serious damages in the final battle. In addition to protection meditation and taking hideaway in Mother Nature, what else can we light workers do for better protection?
There would need to be much more mutual support between the light workers. They could create support groups, supporting each other physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This is what needs to happen. There is simply far too little support between the light workers, and that needs to change immediately.
Okay, that's very important. Okay, next question. On November 2nd, Jupiter-Saturn synod triggered the Age of Aquarius for solar system beyond lunar orbit. At that moment, there was reportedly a massive operation by the Ashtar Command. What was the operation about?
The motherships of the Ashtar Command have repositioned themselves throughout the solar system with the final purpose of planetary liberation for planet Earth. So they are now in their final positions, and they are ready to transmit energies that are triggering the event, and they're using their advanced technologies, Mjolnir technology and other technologies to remove the remaining darkness on the planet.
I see. That's a very encouraging use. Thank you very much. Next question. Is there enough goddess energy now existing on the surface of the planet?
Far from it. We have far too little goddess energy on the surface of the planet. We would need much more.
Okay, understand. Next question. Apart from meditating at the SOTR, and how can we effectively spread the goddess energy throughout the planet?
What is important is not just meditating in weekly meetings. What is important is to embody goddess energy in daily life. So those people who are connected with the goddess energy can invoke that energy and let it emanate through their actions in daily life. This is what is most important right now.
I see. Okay, understood. Next question. You've touched upon about Berlin Goddess Vortex already, but what is the situation of the Berlin Goddess Vortex now after the activation on August 29?
I have already answered this question a few questions ago.
All right. Next question. What is the situation with the Ghislaine Maxwell? What can we do now to protect her from assassination so that she can testify in the courts in 2021?
There is a meditation already published on We Love Mass Meditation website to specifically for this purpose, and you can use that meditation as a tool to achieve this goal.
Okay, understand. So that's all from my side. And next one, part 2 from Hoshino.
Okay, part 2 is about the Age of Aquarius meditation on December 21st. And so, Koba, what can the light forces achieve if we reach the critical mass on that day?
If we achieve the critical mass on December 21st, huge changes can begin to be initialized. First, the light forces can begin to finally start reconstructing the quarantine with all its exotic negative technologies, all that network of electromagnetic fence, of different scalar devices, of all nanotechnology, of implants, of biochips, all that can begin reconstructing because the new acquiring energies will be strong enough. And if we reach a critical mass, those energies will be channeled through a critical mass of the surface population, and then the big transformation can begin to happen.
Okay, understood. And next question: is it possible that we can trigger the event immediately if we have 1 million people participating in this meditation on the December 21st?
We are close to the event, but not that close. So the event is extremely unlikely on December 21st.
Okay, understood. And if we achieve a huge success on that day, how far are we from the planetary liberation from a light forces point of view?
Their perspective is a little bit different from our perspective. What they're seeing is that we are in the final battle, and they are proceeding closer to the surface of the planet. And if we achieve the critical mass on December 21st, they will start clearing the surface first energetically and at some point also physically. So there is a potential for big changes after December 21st.
Okay, understood. Next question. If we forever stabilize the positive timeline with the Age of Aquarius meditation, does it mean that this positive timeline will remain from the beginning of next year until the event?
What is meant by stabilizing the timeline is that the course towards the final liberation is as smooth as possible, but we're still in the final battle. So it will not be walk in the park until the final liberation happens. We will only be able to celebrate our victory when the victory happens and not the day before.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And okay, next question. How can we manifest an epic success on December 21st by using Flower of Life?
Flower of Life, you can use Flower of Life in your preparatory meditations before December 21st in your daily life. And when the main meditation happens on December 21st, it is very important to do the meditation exactly as it was instructed, exactly as it was published on the website to achieve the maximum level of coherence at the exact possible moment, at the exact moment of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. So we have a very strong laser-like signal, which with all people completely harmonized in unified goal.
Okay, understood. And next question. Will people who have Aquarius or other Aquarian signs at their birth signs play a more important role in the Age of Aquarius activation?
Their role will be equal to each other people's role, but people with Aquarius, sign Aquarius or other planets or planets in Aquarius, in their astrological chart are a little bit more open to those energies, so they might be able to be a little bit more open and more inclined to meditate at that moment.
Okay, interesting. Okay, next question. Can we acquire the flash of cosmic love energies more effectively during the meditation by wearing taconized Thamani stones, pink crystal, or silver?
You can if you are so guided, yes.
Okay, and next question. The energy of Saint Germain is one of the most powerful factors that will help humanity to enter the Age of Aquarius. And how can we invoke his energy on the December 21st?
It is again not about invoking Saint Germain on December 21st. It is to invoke his presence in your daily life, and you can have his image, his picture, meditate upon that picture, or you can just connect with him during your meditations.
Okay, understood. And next question. What symbols of the Age of Aquarius can we put on our altars for this meditation?
You can use your own guidance about that.
Yeah, okay. Next question. The meditation instructions stated that we need to visualize our perfect life in the Age of Aquarius. Can you please suggest something we can expect in the Age of Aquarius so that we can visualize an ideal Earth society together during the meditation?
The Age of Aquarius is the golden age that everybody is waiting for. The Age of Aquarius is actually our life after the event. It's a transition from the old society, a new society where there will be equality, there will be love, there will be understanding between people, there will be new advanced technologies introduced, there will be first contact and abundance and healing for everybody.
Okay, understood. Thanks for that answer. And next question. If you want to ask the cosmic central rays to help planet Earth to enter the Age of Aquarius, what minerals or germs can we use in order to strengthen the connection between humanity and the cosmic central rays?
Goshenite is a mineral which connects with the central rays in the most powerful way among all the minerals known to humanity.
Okay, good to know that. And next question. If you want to manifest the optimal result of this meditation by using the command 1221 protocol, how and when we should use this protocol?
You can use that protocol in the days and hours leading towards our meditation and ask your team to prepare your energy field, your consciousness, your body, your emotions, your mind for the meditation, and to ensure that you are protected.
Yeah, understood. And next question. The Beta Aquarii is the brightest star in Aquarius. If we connect with this star during this meditation, would it help Earth enter the age of Aquarius at a faster and smoother pace?
It is not helping the Earth. It is more about aligning your consciousness with the Aquarian energy. And of course, yes, you can connect with that star, or you can actually connect with the whole Aquarius constellation, and then you will have a better understanding and experience of those energies coming through that constellation.
Okay, understood. And next question. Would Dragon Vortex in Taiwan and the Goddess Vortex in Paris and Rizal play a special role during this meditation?
Actually, Paris is located on a very specific point during this activation, because Jupiter and Saturn will be exactly at the descendant. They will be setting at that particular moment. So Paris is exactly on the descendant line for this activation, which means that Paris Goddess Vortex will receive a special energy boost at that moment. And of course, people living in Paris can organize, do a stronger meditation. They can start evoking the goddess energy before the meditation, maybe an hour or two before, and then they can have the main meditation, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, and they can again, after the successful meditation with a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, they can again invoke the goddess energy. That will help.
Okay, understood. Thanks for the answer. And the next question, from January 11th to November 11th, there are many planetary conjunctions at the Capricorn in 2020, and there will be Jupiter and Saturn conjunction at Aquarius on December 21st. What is the difference between the conjunction at the Capricorn and at Aquarius?
Actually, there were many planets, and still are many planets in Capricorn throughout 2020, and this energy actually triggered the purification of all distortion anomaly in the system of control that has been existing on this planet. All the corruption, all the fraud, all the lies, all the deception has been exposed throughout the year. And this is what all those planets in Capricorn were triggering. All those transits and conjunctions through Capricorn were triggering that. And we have a major shift of energy in December, where many of the planets and asteroids will exit Capricorn and enter Aquarius, and we will start getting much more of the Aquarian energy. The energy of Aquarius will bring much needed vision and higher perspective on the collective evolution of humanity, and also towards more of a cosmic perspective, which involves first contact, the event, and higher level of involvement of society, which is drastically needed right now.
Okay, understood. Thanks for the answer. And next question, would the movement of winter solstice play an important role in this meditation?
Actually, yes, because this is it's happening a few hours next to the main meditation, next to the main conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, and it will magnify and increase the intensity of the conjunction itself.
Okay. Next question. Many astrologists are paying attention to the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn on December 21st of this year. If we don't meditate on this day, will the energy of this conjunction not having a positive impact on Earth?
It would have some level of positive impact, but if we meditate consciously and channel that energy through our bodies, this extremely positive boost of energy will reach the surface of creation much more. And of course, we will meditate on that day.
Yep. We will meditate on this day. Yep. And next question, is the central sun of the M87 galaxy the central sun of the Virgo Schubert cluster?
Yes.
Okay, that's good though. And next question, the Fifth Dimension released a song called The Age of Aquarius in 1969. The lyric says, when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter's aligns with Mars, this is the dawning of the Age of Aquarius. However, both astrological alignments do not appear on December 21st. Is there any misunderstanding from the songwriter, or if there any reasonable explanation?
There is no misunderstanding from the songwriter. He was just using some astrological symbols randomly, and those astrological configurations he mentioned were not exactly the ones that are coinciding with the beginning of the age of Aquarius.
Okay, understood. Okay, next question. The time of the meditation is not so convenient for people living in Asia. For example, it would be 2:20 a.m. for people in Taiwan, another 3 p.m. for people in Japan. Would you please re-emphasize the importance of this age of Aquarius meditation so that more people in Asia may join us?
Actually, since the alarm clocks have been discovered, I don't see any reason why people would not be able to meditate at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. If there is enough motivation, everything is possible. And this small act of, if you use that little extra energy to set your alarm clock and meditate at that point, we can really make a difference. We can bring us closer to the final liberation. And I would say that many people have made much greater sacrifices to reach planetary liberation. I would see that meditating at 2 o'clock in the morning can be a small contribution to the final goal. And after we are liberated, we will be glad. Those who will meditate will be glad they did it because they will be part of the winning team.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And once they meditate, they can go back to bed for a nice sleep. Okay, so I'll now pass on to the next part of the questions.
All right. Part 3 is clarification. First one, some people are feeling uncomfortable with spiders since they learned that chimera beings are a group of giant spider beings. Is there anything light workers can do when they see spiders at home?
The vast majority of spiders you see at home have absolutely no connection with the chimera group.
Okay. Does it mean that the non-physical spider beings are lurking in our houses?
This can happen, but it happens rarely. It's because most of the bigger spider beings, non-physical spider beings, have been cleared, but it can still happen sometimes.
Okay. Next, is the spider grandmother in the Native America mythology a positive being?
Yes.
Okay. If yes, can we invoke her presence to heal those chimera spiders?
To remove those chimera spiders, yes, we can.
Okay, good. Next, both bagua in Chinese culture and dream capture in Native America culture have nothing to do with chimera. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Do spiders as an insect have any positive spiritual meaning?
Spiders, you can use them as a symbol of connectedness and networking.
Okay. Next, have a galactic central race or cosmic central race ever sent their members to reincarnate on the surface of the planet?
A galactic central race, yes, but cosmic central race, no. Cosmic central race members were never on the surface of this planet.
Okay, good. Next, once we establish our personal team via Command 1221 protocol, how many beings are there in such a group on average?
It depends on the mission of the purpose of the person on the surface which is evoking that team, but usually it's between 3 and 7 beings for some people who have important missions. It can be even much more.
Okay, good news. Did those beings have any special relationship with us before we came to Earth?
Yes, many people have in their teams their soul family members who are on the other side on the motherships assisting the mission.
Wow, great. Next, how does the life forces evaluate the light workers on the surface of the planet once they have invoked the Command 1221 protocol?
It is easier than for the light forces to scan the aura and the surrounding of the light worker and assist more directly. They have their technologies, their advanced technologies through which they can scan the aura and the surroundings, the physical surroundings of that light worker, and they can use those technologies to, at least to some degree, improve the situation.
Oh, great. Okay. The next. There are Ascension Vortexes around the world, like Mountain Fuji in Japan and the Mountain Jade in Taiwan, for example. How can we utilize this vortex for planetary liberation and the personal spiritual advancement?
Those locations have a very strong spiritual energy, and if you are able to go there to visit those locations, you can get a lot of spiritual upliftment. If you cannot physically go there, you can connect with those locations through your meditations and can get some of that upliftment as well.
Okay. And how will these vortexes function next year as we enter the age of Aquarius?
The activity throughout all planetary grid and those vortexes especially will be greatly expanded. So the light forces will send much more light through all the light grid, through all those vortexes. And this will definitely speed up the liberation process for the whole planet.
Okay, good. And the next part is part 4, is about 2021 next year. Our first one is, are there any significant astrological configurations in relation to planetary liberation in 2021?
Yes, there are, and I will most likely be speaking about them after our meditation in Ecological Mass.
And in particular, before the spring of 2021?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, if we want to prepare for the event by bearing Sintamari stones, would you suggest any particular place for doing so?
You need to use your inner guidance and find the best place where you're guided, because you will be guided. If it's part of your mission to bury Sintamari stones, you will be guided where you need to go.
Okay, right. Next, in case the event might happen next year or even in the coming weeks, can you provide us the instructions for violet flame meditation, which anyone can do at the moment of the event?
It is extremely unlikely that the event will happen the next few weeks, but if you want to use the violet flame, you can simply visualize a violet flame coming from the sky, going through your energy fields, through your physical body, through your emotional body, your mind, and clear whatever needs to be cleared and carry it into the ground, to the center of the earth. And you can just keep using this, especially where when the energies are very intense, and of course at the moment of the event, that can assist you in clearing and removing whatever needs to be removed energetically.
Oh, very good instructions. Okay, next. When the event happens, it may be the case that it will happen during midnight for people in Asia or in the US. Is there anything we can prepare if the event flash occurs at midnight in our locations?
It doesn't matter when the event happens, the exact hour of the event. Whenever it happens, you will be ready one way or the other. If you are sleeping, you might be even sleeping, you might get awake. Whatever happens, you will be going with your inner guidance and you'll be fine.
Okay, next. You were encouraging us to post the flower life stickers around the world. What is the current result of this activity?
This has been proceeding nicely, and I would encourage people to continue according to their inner guidance, of course.
Okay, so should we keep posting stickers next year?
Yes.
Okay, next. The coronavirus pandemic has caught the life forces by surprise to a certain extent. Are the life forces expecting any more attempts from the dark forces in the coming months to prevent the positive ascension timeline from manifesting?
Yes, of course, the dark forces are always attempting to disrupt the flow of the timelines, and they will keep doing that. And the light force are deflecting that as much as possible.
Okay. Is there anything that we as a service population can assist to prevent them from happening?
Yes, of course, that would be theoretically possible if people would manifest more unity.
Okay. Next, if the coronavirus vaccine hit the market next year, can the life forces ensure that there won't be any human tracking chips or hazardous biological hiding inside the basin?
Okay, the chip, the vaccine, which will hit the markets very soon, does not have any biochips or tracking chips inside, but it does include chemicals that are potentially harmful for a human being.
Okay. Next, how would the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence influence the world in the coming months?
More consciousness there exists about the Constitution of the United States and how it can be implemented, more it can ensure that the transition process that's happening in the United States will continue in a way that is legal, lawful, and according to the higher purposes. There was a lot of fraud in the election happening in the United States, and this fraud needs to be exposed and it needs to be addressed properly. And the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence are two documents that can assist as tools in this process.
Okay. Next, if the Chimera and the Draco cannot be removed completely in 2021, will the source transmute the remaining dark entities via the event flash?
So whenever the event happens, the source will transmute, or I would say clear and remove all the remaining dark entities at the moment of the event flash.
Okay. Next, do the dragons expect the cross-strait tension between China and Taiwan to be relieved after the presidential inauguration of the United States?
Okay, the light forces and the dragons are doing whatever they can to stabilize the situation there. It's not yet stabilized completely. And this is not only connected to the elections in the United States, it is connected to the global geopolitical situation, and is connected to the plans of the dark forces for their own version of the reset. Of course, the dark version of the reset will not happen, but they are doing whatever they can to bring us as close as possible to that dark timeline. And the conflict between China and Taiwan is part of that, of their plans. So the light forces are addressing that situation and trying to stabilize it as much as possible.
Okay, great. Thanks for light forces. Next, is the Ripple cryptocurrency still in the plan to be used by the light forces?
Not anymore.
Okay, great. Next, astrologically speaking, does the age of Aquarius begin from December 21st of this year and end in 2043?
No, the age of Aquarius, actually, it's a process. It's a process of transition between the age of Pisces and age of Aquarius, and that's actually a gradual process. And December 21st of this year is just one of the major dates of transition. But for our planetary situation, is the key date from which we can say that the Aquarian energies will be strong enough to assist in the planetary liberation and lead us to our final goal of the liberation itself. And what it ends in 2043 is all the major planets and asteroids which were before in Aquarius will leave that Aquarian field, and we will be so far beyond our current state in evolution that it will be a completely different situation.
Okay, good. The next one, are those countries where many cinnamon stones are buried and the tachyon chambers are installed safer for people to live in the coming years?
Yes, to a great degree. It's not absolute protection, but it is quite reasonably good protection against all darkness, which people have already experienced. Many typhoons, many strong storms have been deflected by tachyon fields and cinnamon fields from many countries already. This is just one example.
Okay, great. Next, as many threats from the dark forces are being cleared, are the light forces planning to trigger full disclosure before the event?
Full disclosure will only happen at the moment of the event.
All right. Next, is it possible that event happens before the pandemic is over?
Yes, it's possible.
Oh, good. Next, what task can service light workers to next year in terms of Project New Atlantis?
Okay, there will be a huge reactivation of the planetary light grid in 2021, which will involve many vortexes and ley lines. And there might be some instructions released to the surface population in the beginning of next year about that. I cannot promise it, but it is reasonably likely this will happen.
Okay, the last one is not the question. At the end of this interview, please give our audience some encouraging words and advice so that we can get through this final battle. Thank you, Cobra.
Yes, this final battle has been very intense. It has been cruel and brutal to some of us, but we are now, we have survived 2020. It was a very strange year. Many unexpected things have happened, and now we are just before the huge transformation where important astrological changes will happen, and they will bring many, many new energies, which will bring light forces closer to the surface of the planet, and this will be felt, and then things can finally begin to change on the physical plane as well. So I would encourage everybody to participate in our meditation and to assist us in anchoring as much light as possible on the December 21st at the moment of the Great Conjunction, and then in the next year we can make big quantum leaps towards our final goal. So victory of the light.
Victory of light.
Thank you, Cobra. Victory of light.